Around 6:30 p.m. I took 400 micrograms of acid. Slowly I felt the effects kicking in and saw those lovely patterns on my walls. They looked as enchanting as ever. Things began to stretch as sounds and colors became more vibrant. My friends' voices faded out and I looked deep into the spinning shapes. I think it was around 7:15 when the world began to blend and I closed my eyes, feeling my body against my chair. I felt a pulling sensation in my chest that was luring me towards something. At this point, I started to see strange fractures all around. Inside of the fractures was a vast world that was constantly changing, moving, and evolving. My brain couldn't keep up as it was trying to comprehend the vastness of what I was seeing. Slowly, it felt like I was part of the fractals, symbols, and writing that covered this world. The symbols were foreign, but looked familiar, like I knew what it said but couldn't read it. White-colored lines started shooting across my vision, and it all flowed to one single point. I couldn't look away. It was drawing me closer. The lines started to make an outline. First there were eyes, then slowly a face. Although distance was a thing of the past now, I felt close to her and connected to her. Her eyes, they were like a galaxy staring into my very being. It felt so warm and loving. I felt like I knew her and she knew me. Staring into those eyes, they said everything that needed to be said. Slowly, the fractals began to fade and the trip started to wear off. I opened my eyes to find that a long time had passed. At this point, it was around 3 a.m. I stared up at my wall and those same eyes were looking back at me in the same familiar patterns. When I closed my eyes, I could still see them. They were perfect. I went to lay on my bed and it felt like someone was with me, like a presence. It felt like someone was laying next to me or on me. The warmth and heaviness was unreal but so comforting. Slowly, I drifted into sleep. When I woke up, she was gone, but I still feel that presence with me even now writing this. I hope to see her again. After a session of hitting my DMT cart, I was finally ready for bed and fell asleep around 20 minutes after being finished with the hits. In my dream, I was in my friend's house with my entire friend group, but things looked vivid and real, more real than reality. I felt high, like a visual and body high. The music was hitting just right and sounded beautiful to the point where me and my friend C were compelled to dance. We were dancing and vibing, feeling connected to each other with the music. My friends who were on the couch were laughing while C and I were spinning around each other. I caught a glimpse of the world outside of the window and it was like I was peering into the veil of the universe. There were fractals, colors, and magical creatures flying around such as dragons and this creature with eyes and wings that for a second I felt like it was staring into me but not in a bad way. Then my focus was drawn to the familiar feeling of the entity I met during one of my LSD trips. Colored lines shot into the room and the entity formed. I could only see her outline and a solid white mass inside. Those beautiful eyes emerged from the mass and stared into mine. The comfort I felt during the acid trip returned. The entity shot towards me and spun around me. I could feel her presence floating around me. She was dancing with us. Soon, she placed her hand on my chest and she gave me a smile before my soul, or at least a non-physical version of me, shot out of my body and into the woods outside of my house. I flew into the colors and fractals that danced around with her flying around me before breaking into this peaceful area of stars and planets. After gliding around the planets and stars, she stopped and looked at me before it all faded into the room we started at. She slowly faded out of sight and with a smile on her face. I got the feeling that we would see each other again, but it was more than that. It felt like she was happy to see me and excited for our future. Then I woke up in bed. For the rest of the night, I couldn't sleep while thinking about the profound dream I had. That was a very interesting story by Zenith. If you didn't see the pictures that he included while the video was going, here are them now. And thank you for watching, and I hope that you tune into more crazy trip reports and other substance-related things because, yeah, it's gonna be fucking awesome, you know?